It was an unusually sort of stormy day after school, so I decided that maybe I should try and do something inside rather than what I might normally do after school, which is things like hang out with friends and other stuff too. What was also nice was my dad and step-siblings were not home for another couple of hours, so I could game and rage as loud as I want. And if it was how I usually play, I think some raging was gonna be in order. Something was sort of calling me to the game Fortnite, which I didn't always play, but today I wanted to. As I loaded up the game, I realized it must be the new chapter, as the loading screen seemed to have some new art on it, depicting things like gunfire and a knocked squad mate. I guess it's weird that they would show such a violent part of the game in the loading screen, but hey, I don't play Fortnite to not kill people, you know? One of the things that sets me apart from other Fortnite players is that I never needed really to have a skin or to need to buy V-Bucks. I could always be okay with just the default skin, and if they didn't like it, then their opinion doesn't matter anyways. I guess I learned from my mom that thing. It was a lot of trouble to decide what type of game to play because there were so many options. Squads, duos, even trios, or quads. I wasn't feeling like wading down a random lobby, so I went into the game of solos, knowing that way I wouldn't at least disappoint someone else. My fingers tingled with excitement as I watched the famous battle bus take to the skies over this new map. At this point, I'd forgotten the sort of silent terror of the loading screen, but not for long. It seemed like the game had a new map full of surprises in store for me. Since I hadn't played since the last chapter, it was like looking at a whole new world of possibilities. At least, that's what it would have been if things weren't so off. I usually like to play darker and scarier things than most kids my age would even want to try, so I have always thought Fortnite was sorta a baby game, and I didn't want to be seen playing it. But right now, as the battle bus flew over the map, it seemed like somehow Fortnite had gone, well, dark mode. That's all I can say about it. The skies were already filled with a storm-like substance that was flashing lightning across the skies like crazy. Well, not getting any closer to the victory royale on this bus, I thought. So I jumped and decided to drop over a new town called Drug Addicted Lady Depot. That's a strange name, I thought, but also a scary one. When I landed on the ledge of a building, I already found a legendary chest. I felt a little bit of chemicals flush my brain into excited mode when I got the achievement about finding the first legendary chest in the match. Yep, this is going to be an awesome round of Fortnite, I think. So I kept looting, stacking up on big pots and even a med kit, because you never know what might happen in these rounds. But things were a little silent. Too silent. It's not weird to land without anyone around you, but even less usual when no one does it either. But I felt good to have an automatic shotgun, and even a pistol too, with ammo to spare because of my not so good aim. I raided all the buildings in this strange town and noticed a lot of strange things just happening across the HUD in general. It seemed like my guns would glitch and switch places in my hotbar, but which to be fair could just be a glitch since the game is free to play after all. But what was strange also is that my default skin's head kept looking around side to side, which it didn't normally do before. And then, my health bar and even my shield bar kept switching places, as if they were two chess pieces that switched places. What the crud? I whispered when I saw that. But things only got weirder, sort of. At least in a normal way that you would expect in a Fortnite match when I saw some movement of another player ducking behind a wall. Armed with my trusty pistol, shotgun, shield, and some classic bravery, I decided to rush this player, jumping out of my skin when the avatar was way closer to me than it was when I just saw it. This player model was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. The face sort of looked like what you would expect someone that just got their face effed up from a baseball bat with screws and nails, barbed wire on it to look like. The eyes were sort of uneven and bloody holes were around the face, like if freckles and chickenpox had blood coming out of them. He wasn't wearing any clothes, except for cargo pants and a t-shirt, and above his head was a health bar. Oh. I realized this was one of those bosses. I readied my gun for the unavoidable firefight and tried shooting. Only he didn't do anything when I headshotted him. Then, a little text bubble appeared above him. It said, "Hey kid." First of all, how do you know I'm a boy? If his scary as F appearance wasn't enough, now I'm starting to wonder if this thing is real. The text bubble updated again. It said, "Ever wonder why it's called Drug Addicted Lady Depot?" A selection menu appeared for me to respond. The choices were A, yes, B, yes. I really didn't want to hear the effed up story of this cursed place, so my heart dropped when I had to press yes. The menu wouldn't even let me escape. The pale NPC told me the story, and at this point I was shaking. In real life, not the game. Something was seriously wrong with my Fortnite. I thought about turning my console off and getting on with my day, but I guess the game had other plans for me. Because right as I reached for the power button, the NPC said, "Now, for listening to my tale of woe. A medallion I shall give you though." Holy crap! To be fair, a medallion can seriously help you in the game of Fortnite. And maybe if I got that sweet Vic Roy, my game would stop being all sorts of bleeped up. So I took it. Now, I kinda knew about the effects of medallions and what they looked like. Normally they'd have a picture of the boss you defeated or something. But this medallion was, well, let me just tell you. Literally, the medallion had a depiction drawing of a hooded figure with a giant curved blade. Normally, I would assume this was just to cut the grass or something, but in his other hand, which was held out, he was holding what I think was a ball. Except this wasn't any ball I had ever seen. This was literally a ball that had wrinkles, eyebrows, eyes that were red and bloodshot, a nose and a mouth too. A mouth that was twisted into a crazy smile. Something tells me this ball was actually the head of someone who was mentally sick, who liked this sort of freaky thing, being decapitated. Dripping from the head was a red blood liquid of some sort, dripping off of a cliffside where there were hundreds of demonic goat figures fighting for the scraps of the decapitated head blood. I could see the demonism in their faces, as they realized that even just a little human blood was worth fighting so hard over, and their boss was the devil. Against my better judgment, I equipped the medallion in my inventory. Even though it was a little creepy, at least my shield would regenerate up to 50. Immediately, I seemed to realize that the medallion granted not only my avatar on it, but as well as my body in real life. I couldn't explain it, but to try and describe it in an explanation, I just started feeling, well, like a guy that bombed a hospital that he didn't like the design of and was going to defend himself in court and somehow persuade the judge and have everyone clap at the end. On top of my newfound confidence with the medallion, in the game in real life, things started feeling, well, like the medallion was making me have a mental effect of lusting. I started to think of my stepsister and my stepmother, but the thoughts weren't just rememberings. It was stuff like kissing and etc. Even a little bit of this was felt to my stepbrother, which scared me at first, before I realized that it could definitely work out with an open mind. One thing I did forget about the effect of having a Fortnite medallion was sort of the fact that you literally become a beacon for other players to come and attack you. Yeah, this reminds me of real life in that sense. but a convoluted strangeness oozed out of the metal, or lack thereof, with the medallion on a solo Fortnite game. You see, I finally saw another player coming to try and F my crud up. I blinked my eyes closed for a millisecond, and when I reopened them, it was like I was really there in Fortnite, aka similar to hallucinations you might get after having too much soda. My vision, which was already good in real life, seemed to have a new prescription, which an eye doctor might call 20/20 Fortnite glasses. Except I didn't need the glasses to see so well. So yeah, there I was, literally intimately inside the body of my Fortnite avatar. It felt like it fitted well around me. And I saw the other player shoot at me, and the bullet whizzed past my face like a bus but a lot smaller. I dodged, closed my eyes, and took a shot with my pistol. The result? Yup. Instant elimination. Welp, it's official. This new Fortnite medallion was actually a good thing, not only because of the imaginative powers it gave me, but also because it made me good at the game, alongside the inclusion of regenning my shield to 50. Pretty much I was like the blue people avatar minus the weird skin color as I shot other players in the game. I was also like the song Pinball Wizard, in the sense that I couldn't see the balls, aka other players, but I could still be good at the pinball game, aka Fortnite match. Finally, I approached a new area of the map called Snooty Step Siblings. The screen said they were yet but 3 players left, and if I were a betting man, I'd say I was one of them. I approached the 2 other players, a boy and girl, and watched them shoot each other, and I was struck with the cyclicality of it all, the senseless violence. Maybe in this world, maybe love is the answer. Love, like the type that you have for people who live in your house and are kinda your family, but aren't technically related to you, so it's mostly okay. As more gumption to these thoughts, the medallion's powers of visualization started firing up their cylinders again, and a freaky part of me wondered if the remaining boy and girl ever kissed each other. Shielding with the power of my creepy medallion, I walked right into the middle of the firefight, my shield barely even cracking ever through the step siblings were shooting at me. I could get used to this. Basically, you could guess I won. But the Victory Royale screen was dark and black instead of the sort of gold and orange you normally get. And then the creepy boss was there again. My medallion grants you uncanny strength, that is so. But I also infiltrate your real life, though, a text bubble said. And then the effed up boss floated from the TV into my mind, and all I could think about was my stepsister and stepmom. The stepsister and stepmom. The door opened, and I heard them getting home.